Welcome back to Read the Room, everybody. I am Chandler.
And I'm Alyssa, and this is the podcast about books, relationships, and the relationships in books.
And today we are continuing our Emily Henry arc with people we meet on vacation.
Yes.
Which isn't really about any people that they meet on vacation. The cast in this book is minuscule.
Yeah, there's not that many people. There's like 5 people.
They didn't meet on...
They
didn't meet on vacation.
No, there's just like not very many characters.
I'm trying to think who they met on vacation.
I don't remember, but it was the 2 main characters, his girlfriend Sarah at one point.
Who we met in college.
Her boss for the travel company.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then probably like a quirky best friend who's part of the LGBTQ community. Because gotta include one, but can't be the main character ever.
I actually don't know. But before we jump too far into that, let's talk about a book that you've read or are reading that you want to discuss.
I always forget to have one prepared for this.
Imagine you do. Beach read by Emily.
Yeah, I loved it.
He didn't. Spoiler alert.
Well, it's not much of a spoiler. They probably listened to that episode.
That was last week.
That was last week. If you haven't listened to last week, go ahead and listen to that one. Okay, well, a book that I haven't quite read recently, but have in fact read at some point, probably end of last year.
It's one you recommend a lot, though.
Yes, it is one I recommend, and it's one that I buy from Valley Village anytime I see it, just so that I have an extra one handy to give to friends, because I'd rather just give friends books rather than try to lend them, because then you never really get them back anytime soon, as you know from lending me way too many books.
That's okay.
But Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It is a story of, what do you know, a pandemic. And it was written before the pandemic, the pandemic. But it talks about what happened at the time of the pandemic, and then also 20 years into the future. It follows a traveling band of theater people and musicians as they go to the various little villages and just perform Shakespeare. And then there's of course, because it's the apocalypse, there's danger and drama indeed. And it's just a really, really good book. And again, it was written before the pandemic, which is kind of wild because it feels exactly like how the start of the coronavirus pandemic felt. I mean, it gets a little society does indeed collapse, where it didn't quite do that for us.
Yeah.
But it is just a really, really good book.
Yeah, the beginning was really well done with the doctors giving calls, being this thing's serious.
Yeah, and the doctors know that there's no way they're making it, so they're trying to
save
ease suffering, but then let all their loved ones know.
Yeah.
To board up and. Yeah,
it was really good.
Stuff.
Sorry, I'm butting into the book you're recommending.
I feel like we should butt in more in our little...
Well, we've never had a crossover where we both read it before.
That's true.
I don't think so.
Well, okay. Well, what are you or have you read?
Yeah, I'm going to actually talk about what I'm actually reading right now. I haven't finished it. I have 100 to 150 pages left, I'd say. But did you almost just drop it?
No.
Iron Flame. It's a chonker. It's the new book in the Fourth Wing series. I love that we're holding it up. If you're listening to a podcast for YouTube, we're holding it up.
Is it called the Fourth Wing series, or is there a overarching series name?
I think
Fourth Wing is just the name of the first book.
It's something with Elysian.
So if you look, it's the Fourth Wing series, everybody.
Yeah, but it's not. It's there's a name for it. I've seen it online, but I'm really bad at remembering. Anyways, it is following Violet's storyline after the first one. I don't know why I picked a second book in a series, because I can't talk about what happens without spoiling the first book, I'm realizing.
Oh, that's true.
But
well, I mean, you kind of can.
No, I don't want to. But it's basically, the book series is about a girl who goes into a school called, what is the school called?
Basquiat.
Basquiat.
I think it ends in
Basquiat.
TH.
Everything, all the names in the book are really hard, by the way, of locations or dragon names. Anyways, the school is a school. It's a college for after they graduate high school that you go into. How college works. Wow, I'm really good at explaining this. But it's about a universe where there's dragons. It's fantasy. So she goes into school to become a dragon rider, which is the most dangerous of all the different types of things to go to school for. She was originally supposed to be a scribe because she's frail and weak. Anyways, so she goes to school, and then the first book is her like first year in it. Fourth Wing is what it's called. And then the second book is a continuation of that. And I'll say kind of like Harry Potter, it's her second year in school, kind of. I don't want to spoil, so I'm going to stick it with that. And then it's really good. I love the characters. I love the fantasy. Chandler, not as invested, but we did really enjoy talking about Fourth Wing.
It was fun to talk about because there were a lot of things I didn't enjoy about Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
And you rated it 5 stars and I rated it like 3.
But you went up, so
and
it's
you
funny.
went down.
Yeah, it's funny because there was stuff that it's interesting that when we talk about stuff, sometimes it changes our ratings after we really like break it down. Because the last book we just rated on the last episode, Beach Read, both of us felt like our ratings went down after talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will give Fourth Wing the fact that it is very digestible. It is very easy to read it.
Same with this one.
Just
she writes
right
very
through.
Yeah. It's like very easy, and it is like slow world building, so it's not like over the top for people who want to get into fantasy. It's the perfect like level of easy reading, easy to digest, in my opinion.
It felt kind of like a lot all at once with the world building.
Really, compared to like
I feel like there
Dune,
was a lot of like justification.
Or like Game of Thrones, or not. I mean that too.
I mean, I feel like when it comes to slow world building for like Dune and Game of Thrones, it's shown. It's like here's how this all works. Here are these worlds. Here's this planet. It's not really like explained to you. Whereas with Fourth Wing, like she even uses a narrative device where it's like, oh, like the protagonist is in danger, and to calm herself, she just like recites to herself exposition about the world building.
But because she was a scribe.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, there's justification for it, but it's like
that's like a way of
it's
building
still like
a world.
Here's me telling you how all this works. Like, it felt like a lot all at once.
But it wasn't imperative to the storyline what she was reciting. The like, I don't know. I disagree. I think that the story building was much easier than like say Court of Thorns and Roses, Game of Thrones, Dune, all of that. It was much easier to digest, and it wasn't so fantasy. It was more like. I mean, obviously it's fantasy, it's dragons and stuff, but it was, I don't know, whatever, Chandler.
All right, getting into our actual book to discuss, because we've already discussed Fourth Wing. We've got People Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, the second book.
Yeah. What did you think of this one?
Published back in 2021.
Oh. I love that you have that stat.
I think it was I'm assuming it was 2021. Because she's just been knocking them out by the year ever since 2020.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fine. It was actually no.
Did you like it more than Beach Read?
But then again, no.
Really?
No, I actually really didn't like this one.
Stop.
Now that I think about it.
I loved this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were saying that this is the one that most people don't like.
Yeah, and I liked it.
Or at least like not most people, but like the Discord.
Yeah, it was way better than Beach Read.
Yeah, I didn't. I got kind of thrown for a loop with like all the jumping back and forth, and then like again we talked about this in Beach Read where it's just like these people just can't properly communicate their feelings.
No, yeah,
they did that for 10 fucking years.
Okay, wait, but read the synopsis before.
Okay, before we launch into it. A synopsis of People Meet on Vacation. 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. Poppy and Alex and Poppy, they have nothing in common. She's a wild child. He wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust. He prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they're the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live far apart. She's in New York City, and he's in their small hometown. But every summer, for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut when someone asks when she was last truly happy. She knows it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex, and so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation. God damn it. Alyssa's screen is dirty.
It was barely dirty.
Friend to take one.
It's clean.
Okay. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together. Lay everything on the table, make it all right. Miraculously, he agrees. Now she has a week to fix everything, if only she can get around the one big truth that has always stood quietly in the middle of their seemingly perfect relationship. What could possibly go wrong?
That was a longer synopsis, I realized, but it also helped me remember some stuff because I've read a few books since this.
Yeah. Also, it is mentioned that there are some pretty big Harry Met Sally parallels, and I actually happened to watch When Harry Met Sally like 3 days ago.
Really?
Without even thinking about the fact that we'd be talking about this.
Oh, you also have to read that other book I recommended that was Harry Met Sally fanfic.
Man, people love Harry Met Sally.
Apparently, I need to watch this freaking movie.
Well, I guess it's kind of like the basis of all friends to lovers things, but
whoa.
I mean, like,
what is it on? Did you watch it on Netflix?
I think, well, my girlfriend actually just like owns it, so yeah.
Does she have like a DVD player?
No, it was like owned on YouTube kind of thing, like downloaded.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha. She like paid for it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Doesn't break the rules. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I watched it, and they even had the car share home from college situation.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. Well, I liked When Harry Met Sally.
Didn't
and I
like
think
this book.
I think I liked When Harry Met Sally because, like, yeah, you know, it's this rom-com about like two friends becoming more than friends, but it was in like the 80s.
It also had the male as the protagonist in it.
I wouldn't say so.
I've
I mean, I
never
guess
seen
it is When
just-
Harry Met Sally.
That's what I was saying.
Should be When Sally Met Harry. Let's be
Damn
real.
right it should.
But I think it lingers on both of them equally.
Fine.
I think it's from both their perspectives. Not so much on this one.
I'll be timing it when I watch, but go off.
Yeah, fair.
But what did you think of People We Meet on Vacation? Like, honest, true truth. How did you feel after reading it? And what did you rate it?
I felt frustrated by the whole, like, how she made it 10 years, like a decade of their life. And I get that, like, when it comes to friends to lovers, you kind of need, like, a longer time span to work with. But it's also like, oh, hooray, they're together at the end. But they've also kind of, like, because they were incapable of communicating their feelings for that long, or not incapable, but, like, scared to.
Yeah.
Because of that, like, they didn't just, I wouldn't say waste, because it's never really a waste. You're still living different parts of your life throughout that time.
Yep.
But it was 10 years of that just hanging over them never, like, figuring it out. And during that time, they both had other relationships. And I don't think that that's fair to the other people that they were in relationships with, to then always be like, oh, it's fine, like, we're just friends. Ugh. But they fucking knew that they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, I didn't like it.
Did they, though?
I think they kind of did.
I
It
don't
even
know.
says, like, oh, the thing that's always been hanging over them.
I don't know.
But it's also like, I just be okay with, like, being fucking friends with your friend. You know, it's possible.
You're just very like that. You have a lot of female friends, and you are very strong that you would never cross that boundary. I've seen it with, like, a bunch of your friends. It's very like that.
I think it is important to have female friends. I mean, we were talking about this in the last episode about beach read, and just about how, like, men should read contemporary romance because it's basically just like a guidebook for how to be, like.
But I think you're the exception to the rule, unfortunately. Like, I don't know a lot of straight heterosexual men who have a ton of girlfriends that they aren't trying something with. Like, I think you truly are the exception.
Well, I think that comes from a place too of, like, I know that I can, like, go, like, I'm in a wonderful, loving, committed relationship.
But even when you were single, you weren't
even,
like that.
Well, even
Yeah.
when I'm single, I have the confidence to know that, like, I can go on a dating app and find someone to go on a date with. I've never felt that I need to look for romance in the people that are already around me, I guess.
You already have. So would you ever, though? Like, that's the thing, is I know enough about your relationship history that I feel like I can ask this. But if you had a friend, say your current girlfriend was your best friend before this, would you have, that's a hard question to answer, because that's a what would, like, would have, and you don't know, probably.
No, I enter into, like, any of my relationships, whether they be friendships or, like, romantic, is like, here's what we're pursuing.
No, but, like,
we'll
you didn't go
communicate about
into it to be a friend and then switch to. That's what I'm saying, is I've never seen you do that. You've always entered in all of yours romantic straight from the start.
Yeah, for my romantic relationships, yeah.
That's what I
'Cause, like,
mean.
they're people I meet on dating apps.
But, like, stuff like this, they started as friends and then turned into, that's not something that you, that's what I mean. It's like, you've never experienced what this is, whereas I have experienced this, but you haven't.
How'd that go for you?
Really bad. Thanks for asking, Chandler.
Exactly. It usually goes really bad because it's putting the friendship at stake for the potential of a relationship.
It's not
like
worth it,
a
ladies and
romantic
gentlemen.
relationship. And Like, if you actually give a shit about the friend that you have, and I'm speaking to our very minuscule amount of male listeners here, like, if you're genuinely friends with this person and not just, like, quote-unquote friends with them because you're just, like, trying to eventually get with them, then you should have value to that friendship that you don't want to risk.
True.
And from my perspective, like, I have many female friends, and I don't want to, like, if I were to pursue even one of them, then all the other ones would be like, oh, weird.
It would be so
Right?
weird. It literally would. All of the other ones are jealous in arms.
No, not jealous.
I know,
but,
I
like,
was just kidding. It was
like,
funny.
Worry, like, oh shit, like, is Chandler just, like, friends with me because, like, we just saw him try to turn that friendship into a, I don't know, like, it's messy and bad, and there's so many other people out there in the world.
Literally, that's what I think all the time. I'm like, there's 8 billion people in the world. Do you have to like date within our friend group or whatever?
It seems lazy to me.
It is.
You know?
Thank you. I'm calling myself out. It is. I'm a lazy dater. Thanks very much. Yeah. Okay. Fair. So, what did you end up giving the book? Sorry.
Probably like 3.5 stars.
Interesting. I gave this one a 5-star, which is so funny because the way that we're both viewing, like, how much you would never do this with a friend is I related so much to Poppy that I loved it. I gave it a 5-star. It was like, when I read it, I was like this was the first Emily Henry book I read, and I was like, oh, I love her. I was so excited.
Okay, so when it comes to relatability, I did have a hard time because it's like, oh no, Poppy, you're having a hard time finding happiness in this life because you've accomplished all of your goals and are living the exact life that you were always wanting.
When you read it, though, are you able to relate to female or male protagonists? Because I'm usually always like, what's the females? I can't help it.
Yeah, I can definitely, like, put myself in anyone's shoes. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I read a lot of novels about women.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we're doing here. So.
And you can relate to Alex or Poppy. Knowing you, I can see that.
I can kind of relate to Alex a bit more. Like,
Really?
I'm a bit more like, you know.
Small town khaki wearing.
Not small town khaki wearing, but just, like, kind of preferring to take a chill and read a book.
Stay home with a book, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Even then, I was like, hey, dude, like, if you like her, just fucking tell her. Like, don't be... Or, like, if you've decided not to tell her, then get over it. Just go...
Yeah.
I mean, like, Sarah is your crush from fucking college. Like, that's awesome and nice. And
Sarah, yeah.
And at that point, you have to be okay with, like, prioritizing your relationship with Sarah over your, you know, once-a-week trip friendship.
That's the tricky part, is, like, he brought Sarah into it. If there had have been a romantic undertone, that's where it gets kind of like, oof, like a little tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it can be weird when there's, like, a female best friend and then, like, when it comes to, like, priorities.
We've never had a problem with that, though, have we?
No.
It's never been a thing. I mean, you very much prioritize your girlfriends over friends. How dare you?
I do the same to my male friends, though. Like,
I know you do.
I mean, it's just literally kind of the way things go, especially at this age and in Vancouver too.
I will die on this hill, though. When me and Chandler first talked about doing the podcast, I was like, okay, when can you film? And he's like, well, I spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with my girlfriend. I was like, bitch, all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, no, my guy, we're gonna be filming on Sundays, and you can prioritize this too. Like, I actually had to be like, because he prioritizes, which I actually really appreciate. You're so great to your girlfriends, but I was like, my guy, nah.
You say girlfriends like I'm poly.
Sorry, girlfriend. But, like, in the past, I've seen you with multiple girls at different times.
Oh,
Chandler's
Christ.
poly. Pass it on. He's
and
not.
like, there's nothing wrong with being
There
poly,
isn't.
but I'm very much not.
But pass it on for funsies.
Yeah, sure. Spread the rumor, folks. Yeah, I mean, we are recording on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
afternoon,
somehow it worked out and we've just moved the release day so that he can have his Sundays free, so he can edit on the Monday. It's weird that this all worked out for Chandler.
Hey, the greatest thing we do in this life is love. All right, so I'm gonna prioritize
I wouldn't
that
know,
on my
Chandler.
weekends.
Thanks for twisting the knife.
Oh, God.
Anyways, Poppy and Alex are so different. What do you think drew them together as friends? As the opposite to me, what do you think drew them together as friends?
I don't know. I honestly don't really know. Well, I mean, they're different in the surface level things, but they're very similar when it comes to other, like, core
Are
beliefs,
they though?
I
Like
think. Yeah.
her whole core belief is like traveling, seeing the world, this wanderlust. That's like her biggest goal in life. She literally works in tourism, and he literally says, "I don't prefer traveling." He just does it because he's in love with her.
I don't think that that's necessarily like a core thing. I think
What
like
do you think?
core things come from like, you know, how you treat people and you know, whether or not you cheat. You know,
Whatever. Why'd you say that at me? I told you last episode never cheated.
yeah, no, that's
Personally, I've never.
It's a throwback to
I've
last
been a
ep.
part of that.
Yeah, I fucking know you have.
But I didn't cheat.
Well,
let the record
You're
stand.
accessory.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, Mom, if you're listening, sorry. She knows. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I guess in that case, they're both good people in that way.
I mean, that's all I can really draw on here.
That's the
and
only core thing.
I don't think that they
matters.
really like even delved into that too much. So I just kind of have to assume that like that's why they have a friendship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly maybe they have a friendship just because like they had this attraction to each other right off the jump, and then they were like, oh, it's okay, we can be friends.
And I do think that there's something to the fact with, okay, you know, when people travel and you always see stuff about this, one's a planner and then one's just like do like following behind.
Type A, type B.
Yeah. But that's sort of what they are. And like those two things go together really well when it comes to travel. And this whole book is about travel. Which is ironic because Alex is giving the type A type, like he would be very organized, meticulous, whatever. But it's actually Poppy in the story because she's the organized one who like plans everything. Or
I think when it came to their cheap trips, they were kind of working together to plan.
Yeah, maybe.
I think. I don't know. Like there was also that growing moment for their relationship when she got sick before going on like a big extravagant trip.
Right, and he didn't go.
And he didn't go, and he took care of her.
Yeah.
And like, did they kiss?
No, it wasn't until Croatia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because when Harry met Sally,
They kiss when she's sick?
She was really
Ew.
upset.
Oh.
And I can't remember what she was upset about. I don't think she was sick, but she
Probably
called
his
him.
girlfriend Sarah.
Yeah, well, she called him to like come comfort her.
Yeah.
And then like she's literally
Wait, were they just friends at that point?
Yeah.
I would never call
And
you
just,
to come comfort me if I was sad or
down
sick.
her face, you know, and then like they end up making out, and then they end up hooking up. Sorry for spoilers for Harry Met
That
Sally.
seems like
But
not a healthy thing.
I know.
She's like
that's not good.
vulnerable.
Yeah, but
No,
then,
no,
like,
in Croatia.
in the morning, Sally was all like kind of like excited and like stoked on it, and then he's like he just dipped out.
Oh my god, fucking Harry.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So when they
Harold.
kiss in this book, it's remember they kiss in Croatia and they're drunk, and then they're both excited about it, but he pulls away and she takes it as rejection for however many 10 years, but really he just wanted
it was like 2 years.
Oh yeah, I guess because it was like you're right. Sorry, their friendship was 10 years. You're right. So it was like a couple of years though, and she always thinks it's rejection, and then later finds out that it was because he didn't want them to hook up when they were drunk. He was like
And,
being
like,
a good
ruin
guy.
the friendship.
Literally, he wanted to make sure she actually wanted it because. And anyways, again, miscommunication.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing too. In that situation, both of them are thinking like for him, he's thinking like, oh, she's only kissing me because like she's drunk. She doesn't actually want to kiss me.
Yeah.
And then for her, she's like, oh, we kissed, but then he pulled away and he doesn't actually like want me.
Yeah.
So both of them are there wanting the other one, but then thinking that the other one doesn't want the other one. And it takes one adult conversation here.
But that's
folks.
the thing though, is they have such like a big friendship. So like that's probably why it took them so long to actually express their feelings for each other, because they didn't want to ruin the friendship.
If you have such a good friendship that you don't want to ruin, then have a conversation about the Croatia situation earlier than ruining the friendship and not
Sometimes
talking for a
things
fucking
just
year.
happen, Chandler.
I guess.
How dare you? Okay, and then Alex brings his girlfriend along on some of their travels, which starts being like the point of contention in everything. Is he has this girlfriend, Sarah, and he brings it along. And it's see, for me, I wouldn't want to go on a vacation with a friend and his girlfriend. I wouldn't want to. Like, that would be very odd. But I also feel like if you're agreeing and going. Wait, did she have a boyfriend at the time?
Yes, and she also brought the boyfriend.
Oh yeah, it was that fucking guy. Sorry.
He was indeed a fucking guy.
Sorry, I wouldn't have gone if it was 3, naturally, because that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
but
that's kinda
4,
weird.
I would do that. But also, I don't know if I would go with somebody I either have a history with or have feelings for. That's just setting your... I make bad choices. I'd probably still go. You probably would be smarter about it. You wouldn't be in that situation. I'm just going to speak for you.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't put myself in that position.
Yeah, like, but you literally wouldn't even have been in the position to have that be awkward of somebody asking you to go on vacation.
I guess.
Like, you're very, I don't know, you're way better at this stuff than I am.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway.
I mean, I kind of have to be.
I love that I'm speaking for you. You wouldn't do that. I would, but you wouldn't. I'm really painting you in a good light, but not really myself.
Well, if I want to exist as a straight, man with female friends, I have to like be on top of it and make sure things aren't weird for anybody.
Wow, I'm realizing how many times I've been in similar situations.
Of going on a vacation with a couple.
No. But like going out with like people. Anyways,
tell me more.
So I don't want to.
Okay, miss. Oh, we should talk more about our relationships on the relationship podcast. Okay. And then me being like, it's a book podcast.
Like, I related to that situation a few times because I am not like Chandler. See, now it sounds like do you know what I'm trying to say?
No.
So like, because it's hard, because if I declare like I date my male friends and it looks like I would be trying to date you, but I don't. I have friends like Chandler and Brian. I have another friend in Calgary, Brian, where it's very like platonic and it's never ever been that way.
Brian.
Yeah,
what's up, Brian?
He's probably not listening. But Brian and I have been friends for like 15 years now.
We'll just tell him that we mentioned him in one of the episodes and not tell him which one.
So he has to listen to all of them. But yeah, no, Brian and I have been friends for 15 years. I always stayed at his house. I would travel with him. He's one of my favorite people. I feel very safe with him. It's really similar to Chandler in that way. We haven't been friends for as long, but Brian and I had a friend who it was very similar in that way. It was a male friend, but it just didn't go the same direction that Brian and my friendship went. And I wish that it had, but it was like a Poppy and Alex situation. Not quite to the like level. It wasn't a romance match. This isn't painting me well.
Do you think it could have been? Maybe?
No.
Oh.
that was the tricky part. I don't know. I've never considered it, to be honest. I'd rather not, because I'm not a fan of that person.
Oh, okay.
At all. And
I feel so bad if he's listening.
He's definitely not. He doesn't follow me on anything. But he was my friend for a really, really long time. Why am I talking about this? Now I just feel like I'm in therapy. But that's why it's confusing. Like, when something happens, having that communication, we're judging Poppy and Alex for not being able to talk about it. But it's true. Like, that conversation can lead to the end of a friendship. But for me, it was 14 years. Like, to actually talk. It's terrifying when you've put so much time and energy into a person and truly cared about them and all this stuff. And then the dynamic when it shifts. For me, I panicked. And I said, let's go back to being friends. Let's never talk about this, et cetera, which was also not smart. I followed the trope of romance books and miscommunication. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's confusing. And that's why maybe I loved this book so much, is because I could understand those, like, it is very gray area. It's confusing. It's like a lot. And I'm more related instead of got annoyed that they were miscommunicating.
I guess, but it's also kind of like there is the risk of that conversation kind of veering the other way, and it also risking the friendship.
It wouldn't have.
But if there's this thing hanging over the friendship the whole time continuously, then like maybe that friendship needs to be, come to some sort of a conclusion.
It wasn't.
Matter what. Like, I
feel like this just doesn't apply though, because the situation. You were there. There was never like an underlying.
Well, I wasn't there because
he watched.
I didn't want. I was invited to come out for that fateful St. Patrick's Day evening, but the pandemic had just been at the very cusp of starting, and I remember being like, "Oh, I don't know, Alyssa. I should probably stay in because
maybe I should have done the same."
Because this seems like a pretty bad situation. Then you were like, "Oh, don't be so serious about this. It's just like it's nothing."
And then I blew up my entire life.
And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, literally.
In full force.
Wow. Oh, this is really traumatic bringing all this up. I really did want to talk about our relationships in a podcast about like relationships and books, but actually doing this right now with you is really fucking hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Like the amount of editing you're going to have to do because I rambled or I like was trying to choose my words so that I'm not outing someone, but I also this is like tricky.
No, I'm just leaving all this in.
Please, God, don't. But leaving Brian.
Our podcast just becomes Me therapizing you without a license.
Like literally, it's so because Chandler's so like healthy in a relationship,
Thank
so
you.
happy. He's so good at these kind of things, prioritizing them 7 of the 7 days.
Well, I do read a lot of contemporary romance as a guidebook
Damn!
for how to act.
There
So
you go. See, the men that I go for, I don't even think they read. Is the problem?
I don't think they can read.
I didn't know you could read that Harry Potter line, Draco.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the book again.
Yep. Probably bring it back.
Well, traveling is really fun. There's also a question with Poppy that she's running away from something.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm reading the question, I don't actually remember what it was she was running away from.
Well, she's running away from Linfield. She definitely doesn't want to go back to her hometown.
That's where he's living.
That's where
yeah,
he
she
lives.
doesn't want. Why did she hate it so much? She was bullied there, right?
I think she was bullied. There might have been some weird family stuff
what's
going
her
on.
family stuff?
Oh yeah, and then like, wait, is she the one with a sister that
that's the
is
next book.
just in? Okay,
I get these books confused sometimes because they're all small towns and
Yeah.
like the same shit. Okay, wait. I don't want to look it up. Just cut that out.
yeah, it's fine. But yeah, she's trying to fill her life with travel and career, and like she's succeeding, but she still feels like she has this emptiness in her.
She is quite
like,
successful.
Yeah, but like she's having this existential crisis of what now? Like what makes me happy?
Would you do her job? I was gonna ask.
Yeah, that's cool. Like
I feel like that's kind of
I've
similar.
done a bit of travel journalism in the past.
You have?
I've been sent places.
Where?
I've gone to not anywhere fantastic.
I don't know why I thought you were about to say Russia because you were like, I've been to and then
Revelstoke.
Oh,
is what I was trying to say. Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun.
Did you actually go to Revelstoke?
Bunch of places, and I went to like Banff. You remember? I
Yeah,
went to
for
Lake
Lululemon.
Louise for the Lululemon thing.
Sponsoring this episode.
Oh, I fucking wish.
Yeah. Where did you go to Revelstoke for?
Daily Hive, just to.
But like
go.
there was no like
There
brand.
wasn't like a thing happening, but like
Oh,
it
it was
was
just,
like
like, a trip.
tourism Revelstoke.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fun.
Recently went to Abbotsford.
For what?
Tourism Abbotsford for like pumpkin patch stuff. I wrote a little thing about it for the Georgia Strait, so
Wow, this guy.
find that there.
Google him. You'll see all his articles.
Yeah.
And his Charlie Swan fanfic.
I don't know if that'll show up if you Google me, but if you Google Midday Clouds Wattpad, you'll find it there.
Midday Clouds?
Midday Clouds. It's a play on Midnight Sun.
Oh, Midday Clouds. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Thank you.
I didn't get it before. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, so then at the end, she's like, oh, like I've realized that the thing that makes me happy, the thing that feels like home is you, Alex. It's you.
Because her trips weren't fun without him.
Yeah, but like also her life too, I guess. Like she had this like, but
Puzzle pieces.
I don't know. Like I don't ascribe to the notion that like if you're feeling like there's emptiness in your life, to
Fill
like,
it with someone else.
Fill it with a person.
Fill it with a man.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It seems to be going well. Just kidding. Yeah, don't fill your life with a man
Yes.
if you have emptiness. So we talked about this with Beach Read, how the title didn't exactly correlate to the contents of the book. This one, People We Meet on Vacation. Can we talk about this title too?
Yeah, because I mean, it's about vacations. It's about them going on vacations,
But they never meet anyone.
not once.
Like literally, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a swingers book. I didn't know what I thought it was gonna be. Not actually that, but it like I was like, wait, who did they even meet on vacation? Like literally, her titles kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, what are the other ones? I mean, Happy Place is fine.
Also, it
Happy
makes
Place
it
makes
look
sense.
like they're going on like really tropical vacations. They're going to like Croatia. Croatia has beaches. Ignore that. Never mind.
Cut it. Cut this out.
Unless there's dragons above.
I'm cutting
from Game
so
of
much
Thrones.
this episode.
This is so. It's hard when you talk about real life. Now I'm all nervous.
That's what I was saying off the jump.
But we have to. That's
No,
what makes
we
it
don't.
interesting because we
I
have
don't-
to be able to
people don't-
relate.
People don't care about us. They
I know,
care about
but
the books we're talking about.
They care about human experience and they can relate or they can't relate. And we're usually opposite, which is why we wanted to make this podcast. Like, I can relate to them, you cannot. So they'll be like, Chandler's cool, Alyssa's stupid. And I'll be like,
Yeah, that's what all our male listeners are thinking right now.
yeah, they probably are.
Yeah, bros. Thanks, guys. Fuck yeah.
America, guns, beers, brews, and boobs.
Football, but like the American kind, not the wussy European kind.
Have you ever seen that TikTok? Have you ever seen that before?
No.
They're like, how girls go to the gym, and she'll be like, oh, I got my period. It's like guys making jokes, and then it goes to the guys, oh, guys go to the gym, and they're like cracking a beer at the gym. It's just like
Are
this
they being
stereotype.
earnest? Are they being earnest about this?
I'll show you after, but it's like college kids, and it's so fucking funny. Anyways, it's hilarious.
Okay.
Okay, we need to focus. We need to focus on this fucking book. Okay, spoiler. Were you surprised when Poppy and Alex ended up at the conclusion of the novel?
Like that they ended together?
Yeah, this contemporary romance.
Was I surprised?
Yeah.
That in the epilogue, the main character, do they end up getting engaged or getting married at the end?
I don't. You can't ask questions like that because I haven't read it in so long.
I think we've come to the conclusion, like we don't give that much of a shit about this book.
Apparently, compared to other books, we don't. Is prologue? It doesn't end in them engaged. I don't think, based on my quick skim through. They're just together, and she says he's her home.
Oh yeah, they were living in New York, and then planning to go to Linfield for the summer. And no, I wasn't surprised that
really that Emily Henry didn't end that way.
Nope, not one little bit of surprise there.
Do you think this couple will stay together compared to the last episode we did? I actually think that Poppy and Alex have a better shot.
I think they have a better shot, but I do think that the shifting of their geographic locations is going to be pretty difficult and
for
bit of a wedge in their relationship. Well, yeah, he moved to New York, but then they're planning to go to Linfield, and I'm sure that there's probably going to be some...
But for the summer, right? Not forever?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
He might want to stay there. I don't know.
And that has trauma for her.
I mean, they already went... Wait, no, that was a different book, I think.
Do you know what I love in books? When they have therapists. Because, like, Poppy could use a therapist about her high school experience and her small town experience. And every once in a while, you get a contemporary romance where they're in therapy, and I'm like... Snaps for therapy.
Yeah, everyone should be in therapy, everybody.
And I also should be.
Well, you have this podcast, apparently.
Yeah, you are my therapist. Thank you.
Great.
I don't think I have that many questions.
I'm okay
Chad.
to finish this one out.
This
I feel
one
like
is
neither
so
of us are
long.
too invested
This
in
is
this
not
one.
our good one. I think it's funny because I really liked this book, but after doing this podcast, I realized that you and I don't have that much to say about it.
There's not much to say about it. I mean,
it's the same form. Like, compared to Taylor Jenkins Reid, it's harder to talk about these books, I'm realizing.
The things to say about it is about the friends to lovers trope, and that's, we discussed that. There's really not much else going on here other than, like, travel and, like, not being, like, entirely content with the way your life is going and, like, something needing to change. And, like, in this case, apparently it's a man. So
that'll fix everything. Yeah. Friends to lovers trope. It was also what was the other trope in this one? Second chance romance. It wasn't as much forced proximity.
It's not like they really had a first chance romance.
Yeah, because they kissed in Croatia, and like that was the first chance, and then like years later. Yeah. So I think technically, and then I wouldn't say they were grumpy versus sunshine. I didn't get that vibe from this one. I'm trying to think of the main tropes so we can talk about them in each book or each podcast episode about the books. Is because Emily Henry is like the queen of following tropes and formula.
Well, also of combining them at least.
Yeah.
Like
she loves combining them.
So that makes it interesting. But
So all in all, you gave it 3.5 stars.
3.5.
I gave it 5, but after this podcast, I don't know why. I really loved reading it though. This is like a one sitting book for me. It's so fast.
Yeah, those
to
are nice.
Through.
Those are fun.
Yeah. Like, look at this. If you're on YouTube, look at this fucking copy I have. It's just absolutely destroyed.
See, I thought that might have been because I borrowed it and I kind of destroy books, but
no, because I've read this one a bunch, and this one was in rough shape.
Okay. Well, that's good. You should loan me rough shape books.
Well, I don't always have rough shape books because when it's something really special, which obviously this one wasn't.
Well, rough them up a little bit. And you still gave it 5. You gave it 100%. You gave it tops.
Okay.
It's sitting up there.
5-star doesn't mean 100%.
That's what it, 5 out of 5 is 100%.
Well, that's confusing because it's more than 4 but less than 5.
4.5.
I don't do 0.5s.
Do 0.5s.
Nah. It drives Taylor crazy.
It does.
I think that Goodreads our podcast we just fight more and more.
Goodreads doesn't allow halves, does it?
No, that's why I don't do it. Sense. But
we're not fighting more and more. What are you talking about?
How dare you say that? Okay, well that was this episode of Read the Room. That was being you. You can say it.
Oh, that was So that's people we meet on vacation, everybody. This has been Read the Room. I've been Chandler.
And I've been Alyssa.
And we still are Chandler and Alyssa. And we will be next week when we talk more Emily Henry with book lovers.
I'm excited.
Yeah. We love books.
We do.
So that's relatable. I'm assuming you do too, dear reader.
That's what you wanted to name the podcast.
I know. That would
I still like Read the Room.
It's not that I don't like. We ended up on Read the Room, but
It's
Dear
true.
Reader would have. And Dear Reader is a great band, by the way. So check out Dear
And
Reader.
it's a great song by Taylor Swift.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Which I did not get tickets for.
Well, that sucks to suck, Alyssa.
Shut up. Also, if you enjoyed this chaotic episode, I think this is probably our most chaotic episode. The second we tried to bring real life into it, it got very
I
chaotic.
just got so much editing.
Yeah, I'm so sorry,
God
Chandler.
damn it.
But if you enjoyed this and the extremely edited version that Chandler can put out, please subscribe to us on social media, on YouTube, on your podcast platform that you listen to. It really helps us. And if you leave a review, we would also be really appreciative of it.
On socials, we're at Let's Read the Room. We got to keep telling people that.
We also have...
I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious to search Read the Room and maybe it'll show. It's the green one. Find the green one.
We also have a couple of reviews on our channel, and I thought about reading one. Yeah.
What?
So we have some 5-star reviews. We have 4, but I can only see 3. So that's confusing. So I'll read this one. This one is from user at Carl Broats. It says, my favorite podcast about books and life. Hosts have delightful voices and even better insights.
Thanks, Carl.
Shout out at Carly. I wonder why I can only see 3 reviews. It says 4, but you could be a review that we read out. So definitely leave us a review. Even if it's not a 5-star, I'd prefer if it was a 5-star, but we'll probably read it out even if it wasn't. If it's a low one, we'll make fun of it. Can't wait. Please don't do that. I was just joking. Please cut this out.
It's all going in there. Thank you, Carl, for that one review.
So what do we say at the end of it?
Every fucking time.
I can never remember. We should do this again sometime.
We will do this again sometime. Goodbye.